Sup? We're back. I'm back, shall we say, for our next game in the series of the games we're covering today. Game 2 is NRG versus Weibo. I'm going to be probably a little bit more chilled than the DK one, for sure, because obviously still leading. And that one was very, it was a very interesting series, to say the least. And I personally do think that G2 played very well and did good enough to win it out. But yeah, today it's interesting because we've got so many goddamn games to cover. And I need to have a quick drink first, actually. Nice fizzy drink. Should give me some energy. Haha. So odd. I never open a can fully. It's weird. But I just did. Anyway. First game was back and forth. This one feels like more of a stomp with who's involved. It's NRG take on Weibo. Weibo are on the blue side, NRG on the red. Nico, Maokai the first to be removed. Clearly, no one wants to have the stupid tree that controls so much of the rift and does half your HP bar in the late game. Xayah removed, so safety removed by Weibo. And I'm going to be honest, my most interesting matchup for this one is going to be the Shy versus Dokla. I think. And Zauhu versus Powerfox. Because of course it is. But I like the top lane matchup more. I think the Shy, he hasn't obviously found the form that won him the world championship before, that made him so famous with the uniqueness in his carries, and mainly being a carry player. Let's be honest, he really rarely went to tanks. Now with the meta in its way it is, this is probably the closest it was when IG won Worlds. And I think that's a big thing to say, because you gotta feel he's gonna pull out some big, heavy carry picks here at Worlds this year. As we get into our first rotation of picks, things off the board, the Ori, the Vi, the Xayah, and the Rel kind of tell you the story that both teams don't want to deal with sort of heavy engaged champs, as well as the more protective picks for the big carry roles. Now, Poppy insta-locked by Weibo here. Technically a flex between jungle, top, and support. I like it a lot for them because this pick denies the likes of Rakan. It denies the Alistar in some regards as well. This basically nullifies quite a lot of options because Kaiser now drops down in priority. You've also got Azir dropping down in priority for NRG, I should say. But Alistar and the worst performing mid laner in the tournament, Talia, not Palafox. We don't know what his quantity of performance is just yet, but Talia, the worst performing mid lane pick here at the championship so far, going through to the first seed of the LCS. Maybe they can find success with the pick. Only time will tell. As Weibo lock in the Rumble, something's fishy here, as that's probably a jungle Rumble, not Rumble, Poppy, or jungle Rumble. It's still an option. But yeah, Weibo got a carry top at least. if that's Rumble for the Shy, you kind of have to feel that's a very good thing for him. Kaiser also locked in for Weibo. Do you remember what I said about Poppy? Steadfast Presence, you know, is a very powerful tool against champions who like to leap and use dashes a lot. Kalista is the epitome of hard countered by Poppy. And I don't like drafts so far from NRG. It sucks. Also, Talia kind of helps Poppy. What is this draft from NRG? It's basically handing the win to Weibo. I'm gonna be honest. They really should have left the Renekton up because it would still be dashing. It's a dash check. Oh god. Why are you like this, NRG? Have you not learned anything from LCS not to draft these sorts of picks? Like, surely, and I do mean this in the nicest of fashions, if you're the best that NA has to offer, holy fuck, your region is screwed. The only team that I actually have faith in, considering the roster is mainly American, I like this roster. Don't get me wrong, I like NRG as a team. Like, the epitome of NA, basically. But the draft just sucks so much for them. But let's ignore the Poppy and talk about their comp. You've got Kalista Alistar. It's an aggressive bot lane wanting to fight into a Kaiser and whatever. Possibly it'll probably be a Rakan for Weibo. NRG also have a bit more poke now with the Jace going into the top lane for Dokla. So, or maybe not. Maybe it's going to Palafox, it's jungle Talia. I don't know. It's a weird one for NRG. They've actually done fairly decent with the blind pick Talia. Well, flex pick Talia. And now slowly revealing that out. Because in theory, they've just given a winning matchup to... Never mind, it's an Azir going to Zauhu. But they've given a decent pick to them as... Oh, it's another wall, technically, with the pillar. But, like... Oh... You've got... On into Rumble. Rumble's just gonna free farm. Leona was also picked up for Weibo and Azir. I mean, Azir was stock standard. This draft from NRG. I get you want to go and lock him up and get in good engage, but the draft to me does suck. Like, it's not a good draft. I think every team that's drafted a tank top lane has lost because they've just been pushed so far down, like outscaled, out CC'd, and out damaged that the teams essentially just beat them. And Weibo with the Shy, we said he's the epitome of a carry top. Here, going against the support, he's basically been given the full... He's just been given a nice, free, easy game. He'll be happy about that. Mid lane, probably the most interesting matchup now, as there's just going to be a bit more contest between two teams there. So, as we get into the game, I can't really set expectations other than expect to stomp. Simple as that. Expect these two teams to be brawling. Well, I think NRG want to brawl or go for isolated or mismatch fights in their favor. But my thought process is they'll go for a 3v2 or 4v2 bot. The Shy will TP in. The Poppy will lock down a target instantly. And somehow, it's not going to be the Alistar that dies. It's probably going to be the Talia. And Weibo then just continue to balloon a snowball. But onto the Rift we go. It's the Fast Fan 5. Simple as that. Both teams not really going for an aggressive warding start. They're just playing defensive. Kind of expected, to be honest. Only one ward dropped, and that was on the entrance to the river. Taking a look at the ruins. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Yeah. Phase Rush, Poppy, kind of matches the Maokai rune page, basically is. The Shy, early aggression. He knows Doklas started Q, so he can just use the Flame Spitters to get essentially full control of the wave. From minute 1, that's a nice start for him. And what do you know? He already has control of the wave, basically. Mid, Jace getting the early minion kills. Obviously has the 2 forms early, so he can get them. Spot side, the aggression coming out from Crisp. Gets the Zenith Blade onto FBI. Is that a sign of things to come? As he's looking to position forward again, another one comes through. That's the Ignite forcing the cleanse out from the Callista and Flash as well. Early trades go in favor of Weibo in the bot lane. And the Poro emotes are being shown. Oh, this bot lane is now a nightmare for the Alistar and Callista. You can't really go for an early trade like they wanted to, because it's full lane control for Weibo here. Able to kind of freeze the wave or deny as much CS as possible. There's already literally a 10 CSD. And yeah. Now Weiwei invading. Looking to steal away camps on the jungle Poppy. Uh-oh. It's level 1 dive time, it's level 2 dive time, isn't it? FBI running near to the wall, gets rooted on the tower, and that's first blood to the Poppy. Oh, this game, it's gonna suck. Fire lashing forward is Leona. The Zenith Blade lands, the stun comes through, and maybe not. Weiwei pushes the Alistar back to the team to get some safety, and the minion wave denied by Weibo. This is such a gruesome start for NRG. Their bot lane basically are out of it. Minute 1, or minute 3 technically, to escape. You haven't got Merc Dreads, you haven't got Cleanse, no Flash either. He was dead. This, Ignar tries to go for the cheeky play onto Weiwei to get him killed by the tower, but because the Poppy just dashes through him, denies that play, and Contracts is spotted on a ward. So, Weibo, well aware of Contracts' positioning, coming into the river as Poppy coming for a play, not spotted out here. Actually going to get Contracts rooted in the wall. Steadfast Presence denies any form of escape, forces the Flash instead out of the Talia, and more is being burnt by NRG for literally nothing, as here comes Xiaohu. Ignar going to be slowed down, pulled possibly back into the wall, and Weiwei finds himself a second kill. And NRG, they're sitting down the barrel of the gun right now. Oh, Poppy building full tank, going Bummy Sin to start. Oh, yucky, yucky, yuck. Palafox sits ahead in XP right now, but obviously we don't really care about XP and levels because Weibo sitting 5 minutes in with a 2k gold lead. I'm sad that I chose this game to break down. The seismic shove was pretty bad there from Contracts. Isn't able to really utilize it effectively to push back Weiwei. Instead, he's forced to burn his flash. Ignar ends up in the chase down. He gets slowed, tagged by the Azir soldier, and he dies because of it. Simple as that. Weibo having fun here this game. I'm certainly having fun. I haven't stopped smiling because this is one-sided. It feels like G2 against Mad, wasn't it, in the regular season? Doesn't feel close at all. So I'm going to continue to eat my food because there's no real contest here. But let's be real. We need to set some tones for how NRG can get back into the game already. The good thing is, it's very early on. And Diorn, if he's able to get to late game, get to level 16, 17, 18, 15 as well, he's going to provide a bit more damage to his team. The ornament upgrade should allow NRG to feel a bit more confident. The issue is for NRG, if the game goes that long, the team fights are probably going to be very, very hard to play through. Because essentially, Leona drops the Solar Flare onto FBI. Probably will force the cleanse. And if FBI is unable to do that, then it comes the equalizer. If he does flash or cleanse both of them, essentially it's then Weiwei getting on top of him with the flash forward of his own. And then FBI is probably screwed because he won't be able to react to that. And then it's Light coming in with the Killer Instinct. Basically, it's very hard for the Kalista to play this game, regardless of if it gets to late. So it then comes down to Palafox's chase, kind of self-righting the ship. He's, to be fair, the only one in this game, as well as Contracts, keeping even with the opponent, I guess you could say. I mean, technically Contracts is behind based on kills. But, it's the most even matchup NRG have right now. So you could probably say Contracts invest a bit of time into Palafox, get him to the power pointers. Equalizer dropped, not going to hit fully onto the minion wave, so bit unfortunate there for the Shy. Is, however, just chipping away the Orn's health bar as the minions crash into the tower, denying him CS as well. It's a dirty, dirty top lane matchup, that's for sure. But yeah, this lane feels over up here, and the game already feels done pretty much since draft. It's a bad draft as Ignar caught out, locked up, face call comes through, and Kalista throws him forward. NRG look to fight, and it looks like it's their demise as the Killer Instinct forces the headbutt out from Ignar. Weibo get aggressive and burn summoners once again onto NRG as the Weaver's Wall comes through, but the Poppy is still here, and the Alistar not able to lock up a target. Now, Weibo turning, Weiwei getting chunked low, But no casualties for this fight means that this is well and truly over. And, spoiler alert, both summoners or FBI are gone again. I'm expecting a repeat gank from Wei Wei in the next few minutes. And topside, still, the minion wave is sat under Dokla's tower as mid that Emperor's Divide gives Zhao Hu a kill. But the response could be coming through from contracts, but them Sand Soldiers do so much damage. It means that contracts is forced to flash. No response from NRG after that one. This is a stomp and a half as the mid lane, the one solace point for NRG, it's gone. The game's over. It's time to pack your bags and get to game number 3. We watch this mid fight then. Zhao Hu just threatens him with the soldiers poking him down constantly. Then when the cannon dies, Zhao Hu's like, well, Palafox thinks, hey, maybe I can kill him off. I've got a gank coming from contracts, but it's too early, and Zhao Hu responds perfectly with the Emperor's Divide to just deny the hammer down. It's a clean, crisp kill to Zhao Hu, who almost ended up getting 2 for free in a 2v1. Like, how often does that happen in a game? It kind of tells you how far back NRG are in this situation. Down 3k, it slowly got a bigger gap than it was at 5 minutes. And yeah, it's kind of disappointing if you're NRG, if you're a fan of North America, because this is your first seed. And granted, you do have a win, as that's going to be the pulverized flashed by Crisp. Engage can come through from NRG, well, Weibo, but the face call denies any further advancements, and Zhao Hu gets forward. That's a solar eclipse, allowing for light to get the kill onto contracts. NRG, you thought you'd escaped, my friend, but in the end, you are caught and routed by Weibo. This game feels done as Zhao Hu goes aggressive into Palafox. The Emperor's Divide almost allows for Crisp to get the pull in with the Zenith Blade. Does not end up happening, but hey, Weibo can at least turn towards this Drake. NRG got the first one, surprising to say the least. It was Ocean. The second Drake Hex, maybe not actually. TP's coming in from Palafox. NRG trying to fight. The Keeper's Verdict knocks away the Alistar, so no engage for NRG. Crisp, no mana, lower health. NRG's possibilities of a fight are here, but all they get really is a flash out from Zhao Hu for the TP of Palafox. They also lose the Drake, but we really didn't care about that, as Mounted Soul's the prize if the game goes that long. It certainly doesn't feel like it. It's here. Hex flash forward from Chris, gets the flash out from Ignar, gets the flash out from Chris. Then it's just like, well, I can bait here as the Alistar because I've got Face Call to pull me to safety. Great use of the Leona ult, stuns up the Talia. It's just a clean chase down that could have honestly ended in more casualties than it did. 1 plate secured, so this is no longer a perfect game, baby. It was never a perfect game because the Drake was secure, wasn't it? Let's be honest. That's all you need to see. The lane economy sitting so heavily in favor of Weibo at this point. Already sitting at 1 item for this Kaiser who's in the mid lane. Light trying to get himself first tower of the game as flash forward comes the Shy. He's gone into his exhaustion. Call of Forge God is dropped down, but the Flame Spitter does so much work to Dokla. And that's a pretty much dead on not able to go to this top side. If he wanted to, needs to retreat if he would like to join his team for this Rift Herald fight. Weibo winning out on the sides mean that they've got full control around the pit. Keeper's verdict goes wide. The smite, though, lands for Weiwei, and the Herald, you have to feel, will go to Weibo. It does end up being picked up there as that was all happening. Free time for the Shy on this bot lane tier 1. No surprises there, but topside Xiaohu could be caught out. That's a great use of the seismic shove. Locks up the Azir, who was bursted down by Palafox. Though the trades come through for Weibo as they secure themselves first tower of the game in the mid lane. That's a huge tower to get this early on because it opens up the rest of the map, as bot side also very low. Weiwei showing top, denying Palafox any advancements forward onto this tier 1 as well. This game, while one-sided, could have honestly got a little bit better for NRG, as on burning down to the equalizer, the turret dies. He's got no safety on this side of the rift. He'll stay alive a little longer due to the Jack Shao, but you have to feel Light gets himself on a killing spree for free, and Weibo sit happily with a 6k gold lead. Oh, you hate to see it. Ornn ran down on the wrong side of the rift. It's a sad sight because Dokla picked this champ for the team. Hasn't really been able to do much in terms of team fight because the rest of his team is so far behind that he too, his giving up in terms of laning pressure has put him further and further behind. That gold graph really is. It really is something pretty of a dominant performance, to say the least. Now we sit 70 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes until the Baron. Weibo full control of this mid lane, looking for the tier 2 themselves. NRG split pushing and top, kind of being forced to retreat back. The tier 2 will fall. That's more gold into Weibo's back pocket that really they don't need. Herald crashes once again into the inhibitor tower. Yikes for that one landing. And guess what? Bounties are up for NRG to collect. Not a good thing to see objective bounties. It really does tell you you are out of the game. I'm honestly surprised they weren't up at 5 minutes with how big the deficit was then. The good thing for them is they at least get one here as Palafox secures the top lane tier 1. And the other big issue though is Dokla is laning into Light. He certainly cannot match the Kaiser in terms of damage, so should really back away. NRG not going to contest this second Drake for Weibo. It's Mountain Soul. Oh, that is such an annoying soul to kind of lose out on if you're NRG, because it makes getting a pick onto Weibo even harder with the amount of resistances this Drake Soul provides. And again, it's another 10 minutes before that is really picked up. And I don't think, and I do say this with a lot of thought, I don't think we'll see a Soul this game. If we see a Soul, clearly something must have gone wrong for Weibo. They must have flopped somewhere, because chances are Baron will happen before then. You have to feel they'll rush the Baron and then just push for the win, because they've done well pushing so far. Already securing mid lane tier 2 opens up a lot of rift for them to make aggressive plays like this with Weiwei. Gonna be seismic shoved down. A lot of chunk damage out from contracts, but he isn't going to be able to kill off the jungler just yet. Wei obviously still has ulti and can Radiant Virtue heal himself up. Weibo stepping into NRG's jungle, securing a bit of vision as well. As Shy just burning the health bar. That's going to be the Weaver's Wall flashed by the Shy. The seismic shove forces him back. He's stunned up, locked up by NRG. But the equalizer comes down, takes the health bar of Dokla very low on. But as that happened, Weibo just rushed the Baron. Literally on spawn, the objective dies. Weibo Gaming, they're happy giving up the Shy. He hasn't got a bounty. He's one of the few members who have just been winning outright on CS and not kills. He's fine and happy to die in that situation to allow his team to get the objective. He also dissuaded contracts, and I think this is overall a worth it play for the Shy, who's just killing Dokla under tower. Here though, the flash comes through to avoid the Weaver's Wall, but he gets tagged up by the Call of the Forge God. It means he's got no essential escape. Here though, TP is coming through from Weibo. Keeper's Verdict knocks the Alistar away as Contracts is isolated, pushed back by the Poppy who flashed over the wall. Zhao caught out on the side as the Emperor's Divide will not find its mark. And now Weeaboos see the kills. Weibo though, not going to be able to get them as the Blast Cone puts the Alistar and Callista to safety. Never mind. Ignar being chased down, Weibo being an absolute menace with that phase rush. He could look to get more picks here. He's got Chris behind him. The repositioning from the Kaiser not available though, so he isn't going to go overly aggressive. Instead, it allows for Light and Zhao to secure the top lane tier 2. Now, sitting 8k ahead of their opponents, a 3k Baron to boot. This pick here as Contracts tries to steal away Weibo's jungle. Crisp is like, nah fam, you do not get to do that. Then here, just a great flash from Weiwei, puts him behind Talia, not allowing an escape. The Killer Instinct also allows Light to get in to get himself the inevitable kill. So as the clock stands at 22 minutes in, 44 seconds until the third Drake for Weibo, second for NRG if they secure it. I did say if we see Soul, something must have gone wrong. But with how it's going, the only wrong thing is the Shy died. Oh, I hate my life saying that, but there isn't really many bad things have happened for Weibo this game. It just has been really poor from NRG. I think the biggest issue is draft that the North American squad has suffered here, as it really hasn't amounted to them being able to do much. And Weibo have had firm control on the map. This Poppy has just been an absolute monster. And NRG just cannot find anything. Literally, there's been no counterplay. It's sad but true. Because they can't really set up for picks. Like, here they're trying to get Light to overstep, but he's fine just backing up, going back to base. He's probably got enough gold to buy up his Nashor's Tooth. It's not, it's Phantom Dancer, it's full AD for this Kaiser. Kind of surprising, because if we usually see some form of differentiation in builds for Kaisers. This is like the old style full AD Kaiser build that we saw at the start of the year. Very little AP has been put into this one. And we've been seeing during the playing stage a more hybrid AP-AD build with lethality. But here we're just seeing a build that I think benefits Weibo more because he's the primary source of AD. But like, tagging and forcing NRG back is kind of your goal here. To just deny them access to the waves, like, continually. So having a bit more damaging of a Void Seeker would be my ideal thing for Light. And that would basically be him buying, like, Manamune, just to get a bit more poke and harass. But hey, that's maybe the next item he builds. Who knows? But it is a weird situation to be in, obviously. The game's not been close, you've had firm control. You're used to having a bit more of a fight against the opponent, who, spoiler alert, only just reaching 2 items when you're building up to your 3rd/4th across the board. This really does indicate the difference in terms of state of the game. The good thing, though, is ornaments are coming through, the masterwork items. Jagshao upgraded in top lane. Talia's got the Liandry's Torment. Or Anguish, I forget what the new name is, but yeah. Liandry's upgraded 4 contracts. And the Rageblade upgraded 4 FBI. Certainly is a nice thing to have, as Zhao, nice little cheeky dash there. Thought he flashed for a second. Now, 26 minutes on the clock. Baron has respawned. And what do you know? Weibo back in the area, setting up vision. The solar flare goes wide, but look at the burning. The contract's forced to flash the Void Seeker. Oh, you hate to see it. Jungler pretty much dead if you're NRG, so you have to give up Baron once again. Literally just 3 abilities got Weibo that. Oh, it's dirty. It should not be allowed, and personally, I'm surprised it happened, to be honest. Just an equalizer, solar flare, and then the threat of a Void Seeker would have killed contracts. If it landed, obviously, but the burn is so much. We don't even get a kill here, but we get to watch a replay. The ward spots out NRG. The solar flare slows and tags. Contracts takes an awkward path because he's forced to wrap around the wall. Didn't need to flash there either. But yeah, simply put, Weibo do work with 3 spells. That's all that needs to be said, because now they've got Baron. There's no real entrance into the river if you're NRG. You're trying to turn onto the Shy, but you've just used your Call of the Forge God and the Weaver's Wall. Drake's not up for another 20 seconds. Crisp is denying backs. He's dropped the Solar Eclipse to deny any retreat back. The TP is forced out, and Crisp continues to dissuade NRG's escape. The Emperor's Divide flashed by Palafox, but he is still dead. Contracts is next to fall. The base is in tatters. NRG are dying in their base. 29 minutes on the clock. Weibo don't go for Soul. They instead end the game and take down NRG in the 4th seed, beating the 1st. It's clean. It's very, very dumb that happened. And a draft diff causes NRG suffering. Simple as that. We're done in a very quick fashion. Let's get into our last game. The LCK versus LPL as BLG take on KT.